Okay. Right.
Okay, so we're back again.
Yeah.
So here's a real simple question.
Okay.
How does one feel worthy?
Oh, one feel worthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, yeah. There's many different ways to look at that. The first thing that came in was self-love, period. Developing self-love, first develop divine love for yourself, and then love for the rest of humanity or for all others. To be able to love yourself is quite a trek earlier on, and to be able to do so in a way where you feel worthy and really kind of deconstruct what makes you feel like you're not worthy. And so what has taught you that you're not worthy in your life, and all these conditionings that we have. And you really have to really double check what words and meanings of words are for each individual. For my worthiness could be a completely different representation of worthiness from like another person's worthiness. So if I tell someone what my worthiness is, it may not actually resonate with another person's definition of worthy. So you define what worthy is, but I can assume that we could define that as being able to be deserving, or that you have a right to things that you want. But to feel worthy, it's more of an in-depth process. It's an internal process. And then you go through questions. So what exactly is your definition of worthy? And why exactly are there tendencies in your life to not feel like you're worthy? But it comes down to teaching that you are exactly who you've always wanted to be. If you take away the layers, even if you've done the most horrendous things, as long as you know that you're forgiven and you know you can forgive yourself. If you forget, it comes down to forgiveness of self for things you might have done, the representations or things that you think you need to already step up for and become to be worthy enough. But you already are, as you are, worthy. You don't have to do anything, and realizing that you don't have to jump through hoops, that your mistakes are forgiven. If you have true repentance, the highest teachers will tell you you're forgiven. But the hardest part's forgiving yourself. So you have to forgive yourself. And to really underpin, I would go to some of the universal laws. Okay, well, if you really do forgive yourself, or if you're having problems forgiving yourself, what does that look like? Because yeah, I know the universe will forgive me, or God, or source, or the highest power, or the great mystery, whatever you want to call that. I know that's a loving presence. It's not something I need to fear. It's not a punishing source. It's not a punishing energy. It's it's your parent, right? So it's not going to be punished. They want you to do well. Forgiveness is there. The hand of mercy is always there. So the next thing is, can you give that to yourself? If someone who is high and evolved, as these greater consciousnesses are, forgive you and love you and want you to succeed, you have to be in alignment and align your will with the will of that. So then basically you come back and say, wait a minute, this is completely insane for me not to feel worthy. Even if I've made mistakes, even if I have guilt, you work on those. But there's no rationale as to not being worthy. Everyone who's born into this earth, into this world, into this school, has a right to be worthy and have gifts and have abundance, wealth, and prosperity, and the appropriate virtues of consciousness that are here. It's just an issue of realizing it and kind of deconstructing the conditioning in which you feel like you're not, because it's all illusionary.
Yeah. Okay. So putting it into practical steps for somebody.
Yeah.
What would you suggest?
What's blocking you from feeling worthy? Figure that out. What's the true source of it? What's your definition of worthiness? What's blocking you from feeling worthy? And then maybe we have different skills in coaching. You can do different parts of yourself and have dialogue between the part that thinks you're worthy, part that thinks that you're not worthy, and find some integration. So work on some integration processes there.
So have a coach kind of take you through this.
You can have a coach take you through that. And you just ask the appropriate questions, but you do the work, and the answer is always going to be in the individual and the client. And then they basically will really dig in a little bit deeper. And then when the light bulb comes on, that's specific for you because you have to feel it. The biggest part with this is not being intellectual with it. And that's funny coming from me, right? But you have to feel the truth. You can intellectually know something and state it and have verbal diarrhea and just regurgitate all these factoids, and it makes logical sense.
Yeah.
But unless you feel it,
Yeah.
that's when the tuition comes in. You have to feel it. And once you
Those
feel that,
aha moments.
that's the aha moment. You feel it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that will be aha. This is a limiting belief. This is what I have been thinking. This is what's blocking me. And then you'll realize it's freaking ridiculous. I'm thinking this way. It's ridiculous that I was trained to think this way, that other people think this way. I don't want other people to think themselves of this way. Why would I think of myself this way if I don't want other people to think of themselves this way?
Yeah.
So a lot of it does come down back to self-love, but that would be the process. Just kind of break it down in that sense.
So it sounds like somewhat of retraining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like biofeedback, like you do. Yeah. So it is a little bit of retraining or unlearning.
Unlearning. There you go.
Unconditioning. So a lot of unconditioning. And some of the greatest teachers have said, use love to uncondition.
Yeah.
And so that will help.
So a good coach could take you through this.
Yes.
Pretty systematically.
Well, a good coach, it isn't them doing it, as you know.
Yeah.
They're just holding the container, and they're providing that spaciousness and the questions and the reflections. As I always said, it's a reflection of your divinity back to you, right? So it's really not the coach doing anything other than allowing you to create that container to answer these questions for yourself, to dive in and to find these questions that only you can find, because the coach isn't going to know exactly what it is that's going to be that aha light bulb moment. Even if they have great intuition, that's great. Their intuition can guide them in creating a really great container for you, but that's for you to find out. And that's where the empowerment comes in. And that's the only true way of healing and progressing, in my personal opinion, is the empowerment aspect.
Empowerment aspect. Wow. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Any follow-ups on that one, Belinda, or?
No.
All right.
Next video.
Next video then. Thank you for watching.